I'm very excited. Many of you will recognize the phone, what I have dubbed the bat phone to Jesus, that I make fun of these charlatans and these grifters. And I got a lot of suggestions to make merch out of it. I make a t-shirt or a mug or some kind of a sticker design, and that is what we did. You can see here, it is a callback to the bit on the show. And if you want to help support the show and then get something tangible in return that you can hold in your hand or stick on your laptop or put on a mug, we have it on mugs and everything else, go to dollemore.info and you can support the show in this way. I appreciate it in advance. And also you can just go check out the website that we're retooling all of the merch and all of there's ways to get to Brittany Page's channel and our podcasts and all kinds of other stuff. So anyway, dollemore.info will redirect you to that. Going forward, we have an obligation to ourselves and to the country we claim to love to call out people who are bad actors. Jared Moskowitz is one of these bad actors. I'm going to try to keep this level-headed, we'll say. But compliance before you're even threatened is something of a special level of cowardice. It is to volunteer your neck, you stretch it on out there for the boot of tyranny and autocracy, of fascism. And Jared Moskowitz is doing it. He made a name for himself with snarky replies that went viral during committee hearings against James Comer. And he has since acted like a Troy Nehls character, congressman from Texas. Let me give you an example of, really, this may as well be Jared Moskowitz at this point.
There's no question he's the leader of our party. So now he's got a mission statement, his mission, and his goals and objectives, whatever that is, we need to embrace it. All of it. Every single word. If Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head, we all jump 3 feet high and scratch our heads. That's it.
Donald Trump says jump 3 feet high and scratch your head. That's what you do. You don't question it, you do it. And this is where we are with Jared Moskowitz. Look, he voted to censure Rashida Tlaib in a vile, disgusting attack prompted by Republicans. He praised Elise Stefanik and congratulated her that they were going to have great work done together when she was the UN ambassador. She's a vile fascist enabler. He gushed. Remember when he gushed over Matt Gaetz? We're getting to it. No, before we get to the Matt Gaetz thing, he was one of just a handful of Democrats to vote to give Donald Trump immense, insane power to victimize and attack advocacy organizations that are nonprofits. Jared Moskowitz giving Donald Trump insane power. And then the most famous of all, many of you were in the comments criticizing me, well, this is obviously facetious. He was clearly being sarcastic when he praised Matt Gaetz as competent and going to be the most powerful attorney general, congratulating him on the nomination. Here is about 30 seconds of that just as a reminder. And I challenge you, find the facetiousness, find the sarcasm in what he's saying rather than what it is, which is just abject praise and getting on board with his nomination, which is now obviously not a thing. Jared Moskowitz.
You know, in Matt Gaetz, he's not only going to get someone who's fiercely loyal, but fiercely competent. Matt Gaetz knows exactly what to do with the Attorney General's office. He will turn that into be most powerful Attorney General in American history. I know Matt well. We served together in the legislature in Florida. In fact, Matt was the one who was part of the transition team of Ron DeSantis, who helped get me appointed as the director of emergency management in the state of Florida. And so, you know, Trump was very clear on what he wanted to do with government. And in Matt Gaetz, he is going to get a very competent, very powerful attorney general.
Fiercely loyal, fiercely competent. Gaetz knows exactly what to do with the office. Will be the most powerful attorney general in American history. Now, he has joined, as the first Democrat to do so, the DOGE caucus. He's on board with the fascist agenda of dismantling the United States government in the Department of Government Efficiency run by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. Here he is with Jake Tapper explaining, justifying his compliance in advance to Donald Trump's fascist agenda.
Incoming President Trump's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, or DOGE, is getting more bipartisan support. Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz is the first Democrat to join the House caucus that Republicans are organizing to support DOGE. Congressman Moskowitz joins us now. Thanks for joining us, Congressman. So Trump has selected Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to run this new group, which will ultimately make recommendations for how to cut government spending. So why are you getting on board to support this?
Sure. Well, look, that's the committee that Elon and Vivek are running. This is the caucus within Congress. Most caucuses in Congress are bipartisan, and most caucuses don't take caucus positions. They don't have official things to do, but members gather and have conversations. And so, look, I think it's the time for staying in safe spaces is over. We should be able to go in spaces and have that conversation. I joined with a specific focus because I've been working on for years trying to get FEMA out of the Department of Homeland Security. I think the Department of Homeland Security was a great idea. I think it's still necessary. But I think over the last 20 years, it's become too big. And so I think FEMA needs to be a direct report to the White House like it was when it was originally created. I think there's evidence that Secret Service probably should come out of DHS and also be a direct report to the White House. So that's where these conversations are going to have, and so I'm willing to go there and have it. I'm sure there's going to be things that Elon and Vivek are going to come up with that I'm vehemently going to disagree on, and I will make sure that I'm allowed voice voting against that stuff. But we got to go to where the conversations are happening. The idea that we're not going to go to these places and just pretend the conversations aren't happening is not a way to conduct business here.
What makes you think that, or if you think that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk might be good at this? I mean, obviously, Tesla and Musk's exploration of space are impressive, but when it came to trimming the fat out of Twitter, what he basically did is just open the door for Nazis and Hamas. So you know, it might be a leaner operation at Twitter, but it also made Twitter kind of a cesspool.
Yeah, and look, I've been a leader on that, sending letters to Elon about all the anti-Semitic comments, quite frankly, that I get towards me on Twitter. At the end of the day, I think everyone in Congress is of the position that government isn't perfect, right? So I'm looking for ways to improve government. I think the American people expect us to find ways to improve government. And in some places, that may be shrinking the size of government. By the way, that used to be a Republican concept. But lately, they want more government in bedrooms. And so I'm looking to have this overall conversation. It's why I joined the caucus, to go there and meet with my colleagues across the aisle. And Democrats shouldn't fear this conversation. I think there are ways to improve government, and I'm looking to do that.
All of that is nonsense. Let me put it in terms like that. You don't need to join the club to be in on conversations. You don't need to be a part of the DOGE caucus to make things happen. For instance, do you not think that Angus King and Bernie Sanders also talk to Republicans and wheel and deal and compromise on legislation? They're also doing it with Democrats. They caucus with the Democrats because that's their team, even though they're both independents. You don't need to caucus with the Republicans to have conversations. This is willingness to join the team of fascists in advance of their even taking power. Well, I just want to be a part of the process. You do? You want to be a part of the process to cut $2 trillion from the national budget, eliminating the Department of Education? They're going to do what they're going to do without your participation. You don't need to comply, Jared. It's cowardice. It's being a traitor to the American people, a traitor to the ideals of the Democratic Party. It's gross, Jared. You're gross, Jared. I welcome I welcome Jared to come on the show and explain it at any time. I doubt that will happen. But I welcome your participation in this conversation. You can comment below. That would be fantastic. You can also call. The voicemail line is open, 714-576-4054. Of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to pick up your Bat Phone to Jesus sticker, dollemore.info. And follow me on the social media. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. I'd love to see you there. Until next time, be genuine. Take care of one another.